Welcome back to Microsoft Access Fun, as I like to call it. You probably disagree. Anyway, obviously we're going to start by opening our database again, and again, as always, we're going to get the security message. Just go ahead and enable this content right at the beginning. Just make life easier for you. What we're going to add right now, hopefully by now you have this client table and you've put in all the data. You've got the recruiter table, you've got the two forms, both of those split forms. So you've got all of these things completed at this point, and we can move forward here. The next thing we're going to do is create some reports. You know, ideally, if we've got all this information, if we keep adding more data, you can imagine we get a ton of data in here, and we wanted to create a nice looking report that we could easily print off. Well, we can create some reports that we might use over and over again and have them easy to access. So again, I'm gonna click on and highlight my client table, and I'm gonna go up to this Create tab. Now your book actually does a wonderful job of explaining this step by step, starting on page AC50, and then on that page you'll see the 4 reports that we're going to try create. The first is going to be a client financial report, and then a client address report, then a client recruiter financial report, and then a recruiter address report. But they're all going to follow the same steps, and we can actually knock these out pretty quick. So if we've clicked on that Create tab, let's go over to this Report Wizard. This will launch a little wizard that'll help us create these, and it'll make life actually really easy for us. So the first thing we need to do is choose what data we want to include in this report. And if you're looking either at page AC50 or AC51, you'll see that the data we want for this client financial report is going to be the client number, the client name, and then we want to go down here to the amount paid, the current due, and the recruiter number. Notice we selected those and moved those over here. If I accidentally added one thing that I didn't want, I could come back, if it's highlighted, and I can click the back arrow and it throws it back in this available fields. But these are the fields that I want to select. That's the data I want to show up on this report. So this is that client financial report. We'll click Next. We could add some grouping. If we had a lot of data under one client number, we might want to do that, but we don't, so we're just going to leave that the same. We do want to sort our data, so let's sort our data by client number, and we could have it either ascending or descending. Ascending makes sense. We'll just go from smallest to biggest. And if you click on these different layouts, you can see the different types. It gives you kind of a example of what they might look like. We're just going to do tabular, and we can do it on a portrait. And then we click Next. We can choose our different style, what we want it to look like. Our book uses this module, so that's what we'll use for now. Click Next. And then we want to give this a title, and we're going to call this the Client Financial Report. Click Finish, and it will spit out our report for us. This is kind of in that print preview mode, and I'm actually going to close the print preview, and that would kick us over to this design view, which is kind of ugly and hard to deal with. If we come up here, or no, oh, there it is. Down at the bottom, we can change this layout view, and that'll help us make this look a little bit nicer. You know, if I realized I had forgotten a field, I could add that right now, but I don't want to do that. I've got everything I want. The one thing I want to change is this column right here. It says Umber. I really need to make that a little bigger so that I know that that column is actually recruiter number. And like Excel, I can click on the side of these things to shrink them down. I'm going to just shrink these down a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. I actually think I'm going to make the recruiter number a little bigger, slides it over. So we've got a nice looking report right now, and again, if you wanted to go back and do the print preview, you can go down here to the bottom right, or you can go up to the top and print preview. And now we've got this nice looking client financial report. This one, you know, anytime somebody would want to go in and quickly look up the client financial report, they just select that. This pops up. You can print it. Doesn't matter if it's a year from now and we've got 30 more clients in here. It'll immediately populate the report and we'll be able to print it off. So I'm going to close. Yes, I want to save my changes. And now I have a client financial report. I'm going to fly through the steps for the next 3 reports. Again, on page AC50, you'll see the information that you want to include in each of these, but the next one is going to be a client address report. So we want, again, client number, client name. This time we want street, city, state, postal code. You don't need the amount paid or the current due or the recruiter number. Click next, click next. I'm going to sort it by client number again, do the tabular again, do the module again. I'm going to change the name to the address report. Click finish. It's going to pop up. I'm going to switch over here to not design view but layout view. Notice my postal code isn't displaying. As soon as I correct the size of that, it should display nicely. I can make state quite a bit smaller. Slide postal code over. And again, someone could at any time quickly print off this report if they just opened it and hit print, and it would be populated with all the clients. Close it, save it. Now I need to do the same for the recruiter. So I highlight the recruiter table and I'm going to create Report Wizard, this time the recruiter financial report. So recruiter number, last name, first name, rate and commission. Click next. Click next. We'll sort them by recruiter number. Do the tabular again. Module. Change this name to the financial report. Click finish. There it is. I'm going to go to my layout view, because right now this is showing up on 2 different pages, so let's shrink some of these down a little bit. Now everything is on one page except my page 1 of 1, so let me slide that over. And now I've got everything fitting on one page, so if I go to a print preview, it's going to look nice. Sounds good. Let's close it. Let's save those changes. We've got one more report to do. Report Wizard, this time it is the recruiter address report. So recruiter, last name, first name, street, city, state, postal code. Bam. Bam. You guys are having fun now because I'm getting into this and I'm going, bam! That just happened. How do you like them apples? Let's call this, oh, let's actually not call it the recruiter address report. Let's make a mistake and forget that and just call it recruiter. There it is. Let's do what we've done before, change the layout so that we can get everything to fit nicely on one page. You know, if we really wanted to, we could go up here to page setup and change this to landscape, but I think I can actually make it all fit on one page fairly nicely. City, shrink that down a little bit, shrink the state way down, enlarge the postal code so it all fits. And I grab that page 1 of 1 and throw it over there. Looks good. Now I'm going to close it, I'm going to save it, and yes, and I realize, oh nuts, I called it recruiter instead of recruiter address report. So I'm going to right click and rename it. And now it's called the recruiter address report. You can only rename them if you've closed them. So it's closed, but notice it didn't change the name up here. So we just need to go back into that layout view, double click this. This is just like a text box now, and I can change the name to the recruiter address report. Sounds good. I'll close it. Yes, I'll save it. And just like that, we have created 4 reports in a matter of just a few minutes that anybody can go in and look up really quickly and print off. It doesn't matter if we go update our recruiter information or our client information, that will automatically get populated in our report. So, hope you've had some fun. I sure have.